Welcome to Freda Chando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support. Recently, the Machakos governor, Wavinya Ndeti, hosted her neighboring counterparts, Governor Mutula Kalonzo Jr. of Makueni and Governor Malombe of Kitui County, in a consultative meeting that they said was meant to foster economic and political development and cooperation among the three Kamba counties. And they said, among other things, that they want to work with the national government. And this is not the first time when governors are lining up and declaring their support for the national government and saying that they are ready to cooperate so that they can work together. The closest ally of Raila Odinga, the Kisumu governor Anyang' Nyong'o, is one of the people who said that he is ready to cooperate with the national government for the good of the Kisumu County residents. And just the other day, when William Ruto took a development tour to Western County led by the Chief Minister, Musalia Mudavadi, the three governors in Western, led by Fernandez Baraza of Kakamega, said that they are deeply rooted in ODM, but they are ready to work with the national government. Not only that, Simba Arati, who is the governor of Kisii County, held some consultative talks with the President William Ruto in State House, and he said that he is very ready to work with the national government. I support the move of governors to cooperate and work with the national government as long as there is no any mischief. Article 203 indicates that under revenue, national revenue allocation, 15% of the national budget should go to our counties. You all understand that we've got a two-tier government. We have the one at the county level and the national level. And if the two have an amicable relationship and they work together, I support, because it is the ordinary man who will benefit by the end of the day. But there is something that I feel is a missing link. For the three governors to come out and say that they want to work with the national government, their timing is very speculative. And I feel that there is a silent voice that is speaking somewhere and people cannot read. One, Kalonzo Musyoka, is speaking through the three governors. I have tried to look at Kalonzo Musyoka and study his way of politics. After the hotly contested election, Kalonzo has done three things that I feel is sounding a warning bell. He first started by joining William Ruto on an occasion that was boycotted by all the Azimio fraternity. He attended the Mashujaa Day celebration in a move that really sparked a lot of furious debate, with Azimio fraternity and Azimio supporters claiming that Kalonzo wanted to betray his colleagues. Then came the idea of going for consultative meetings with their supporters in Kamkunji, and the chairman of Wiper, Mr. Ali Chirau Makwere, cautioned Kalonzo and told him not to attend such forums because he accused the Azimio leader Raila Odinga of trying to sabotage the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Then Wavinya Ndeti, now for the third time, is indicating that they are very ready, in fact almost ready, to join President William Ruto and work with him ostensibly for the benefit of their people. And so I feel that Kalonzo Musyoka is shouting through the governors. This is what I want us to look at, ladies and gentlemen. And before we move on with the discussion, if you are watching our channel for the first time, with profound humility as always, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and give our videos many likes. The reason I have a feeling that the Wiper leader is shouting is because the timing is coming against the backdrop of the idea of creating the office of official opposition leader. If you look at the structure of Azimio, the current structure, it reveals that Raila Odinga is the ultimate leader. And so if there is any office of such kind, Raila Odinga is going to take it as the chief opposition leader. Then the running mate, who is Martha Karua, is going to be the deputy chief opposition leader. Now, where does this leave Kalonzo Musyoka? If you look at the argument of Kalonzo Musyoka, it's one that has attracted two centers of thought. Kalonzo believes that he brought in more numbers to Azimio than Martha Karua. And very many people still believe that it is true Kalonzo has the numbers because all the three governors were elected on a Wiper ticket. And almost all the members of parliament in Ukambani were elected on a Wiper ticket. Kalonzo Musyoka gave Raila Odinga about 2 million, if I'm not wrong, votes. Those from Ukambani and all the other Kamba residents, wherever they stay. And so there is a school of thought that feels that Kalonzo should be second in command after Raila Odinga. But there is another school of thought that believes that Kalonzo has one of his feet on Azimio and the other one outside, so that it is like he is waiting just to see how things are going to craft naturally. He could move away anytime. And they feel that Martha Karua is stronger of the two if you compare them. I don't know from where you sit between Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua. Who is the second in command in Azimio party? So this move has made Kalonzo to rethink twice. When there is an office that is going to be created, maybe Kalonzo Musyoka wants to review a discussion where they have to decide who is the better one between the two of them, between Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua. And I think he wants to talk about the numbers that they brought in the party. So he could be looking for a discussion where they must sit down again as Azimio, and maybe delegates will decide who is going to be the deputy chief opposition leader. Or, because in that discussion, it has been indicated that in the memo that William Ruto sent to the two speakers, they are also going to have additional members of female gender to achieve the gender rule, the gender mark that sometimes back made the former Chief Justice to resolve that we should dissolve Parliament because it was illegally constituted. We had not achieved a third gender rule as it is in the Constitution. And if he does not get the second position, he might just argue that I want the lion's share of the women representatives that are going to be added, because Azimio, I think, is the second largest party after, is it Kenya Kwanza or UDA? Very many people believe that it is UDA. There is nothing like Kenya Kwanza. So Kalonzo could be preparing himself to put Raila Odinga and Martha Karua to task so that they can give him his rightful share. In politics, you don't have to wait. You fight for it. And I believe this is one thing that Kalonzo is doing and is speaking through the three governors. Number two, of late William Samoei Ruto has dangled carrots in Ukambani. He is really trying to seduce Kamba leaders to work with them. It did start yesterday. Prior to the general election, William Ruto tried luring Kalonzo using Jimmy Wanjigi. And at some point, Azimio supporters were very much in panic because Kalonzo was either going to contest alone so that he could divide the Azimio votes, or he had insisted that he should be the running mate, or he was going to join the Kenya Kwanza. But it took the intervention of Gideon Moi, who told off Jimmy Wanjigi to leave and let alone Azimio and let alone Wiper and Kenya Kwanza. And that is how Azimio succeeded. Kalonzo did not run away. And I always believe that this is one of the reasons why William Ruto has never forgiven Gideon Moi. So it has extended. It is said that William Ruto is using Mudhama, who is the chairman of the UDA, and is also using the Cabinet Secretary of Foreign Affairs, the Maendeleo Chap leader. And he wants to ensure that they work with Kamba leaders. The only saving grace for Azimio is that there is a lot of sibling rivalry among the leaders. The last time when Alfred Mutua came to Azimio, that was before Kalonzo was still not decided to come to Azimio North. So when Kalonzo came, they could not sit together. There are people who cannot share the same podium because they are still fighting for who is superior to the other in Ukambani. So the former governor Mutua had to leave, and that's why Kalonzo is here. So this is making it very difficult for William Ruto to accommodate all the leaders together. Ngilu, Alfred Mutua, we have Kivutha Kibwana. These 3 or 4 leaders do not share the same podium because they want to be seen as the ultimate leaders. But it seems like William Ruto has revived his charm, and he wants to ensure that he brings Kalonzo back. And he is doing this because it worked for Raila Odinga. Remember, prior to the election, Raila Odinga had captured the 3 governors. Former governor Charity Ngilu of Kitui, the former governor Alfred Mutua of Machakos, and the former governor Kivutha Kibwana of Makueni. When Kalonzo was still dilly-dallying, they had given Kalonzo an ultimatum to join Azimio, and they came to Azimio long before Kalonzo came. And so William Ruto has realized that he can use governors to compel and manipulate Kalonzo Musyoka to join. And these 3 governors, especially led by Wavinya Ndeti, they are saying that they are ready to work with William Ruto. And this move could just work because Kalonzo could just say that he is listening to the voices of the people, because the governors represent their people at the county level. So Kalonzo could use this excuse and say that there is a lot of pressure from my area and they want me to work with William Samuel Ruto. Every politician who wants to defect from one party to the other always pegs an excuse that my people want me to switch. You saw that with Anne Waiguru, who said that there was a lot of pressure. Mount Kenya had turned yellow and there was no way he was going to remain in Azimio. And so this is a move that could be used as an excuse. The other time when Kalonzo Musyoka joined Raila Odinga at the Azimio fraternity in Kamkunji, he was there alone. And in fact, on that day, William Ruto was being hosted by Wavinya Ndeti. He went there to unveil affordable houses. And remember, one of the things that he did was to overturn the directive that had been given earlier by the trade minister, Moses Kuria, who wanted to take away some land that the Machakos residents believe is theirs, and Kuria believed that it belongs to one of the industries and companies there. So Ruto has been dangling a lot of carrot there. Whether Kalonzo Musyoka will bow to this pressure by the governors is something that we are a wait and see game. The third reason why these governors are speaking could be Kalonzo Musyoka has told them that I want to leave. Because Kalonzo Musyoka could be looking at a way of charting his political path and cutting his political niche. If you look at Kalonzo's age and the number of times that he has supported Raila Odinga, he could just decide that this time round, I'm not going to support Raila again. As Azimio is today, we are still not very sure whether Raila Odinga is consolidating his support base so that he can hand them over to Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka, or he's preparing himself to contest. Because if this office is going to be created, the occupant of this office is going to be more powerful. Raila Odinga is going to wield more powers because he's going to have a big office with a secretariat, security, vehicles fueled by taxpayers' money. He's going to be very powerful. And so you sometimes don't expect that Raila Odinga can fight to this level. Then at a later stage you tell him to, drop it. There is a lot of arguments about what is really happening in Azimio. A friend of mine was saying that Azimio should ensure that by next year, March, they make it very clear and demystify this myth around who is going to contest. If it is Raila Odinga who they still want to rally their support around, they should say, so that they have the real people who support them. I have seen of recent the Jubilee delegates in Nairobi who have started collecting about 10,000 signatures so that they can move away from Azimio. And this tells you that there is some kind of amorphous relationship where we do not know exactly what we are doing. So they should ensure that we know. If it is Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua, let the fans and the followers understand so that everyone knows his role. We all understand that Martha Karua is really deeply rooted in Azimio. Well, Kalonzo still believes that he supported Raila Odinga and he gave very many votes and he could go it alone. So the timing is very speculative. When Raila comes back, I hope that they are going to sit down, because with the creation of this office, I can assure you that it is going to unite more Azimio members, but it can also cause a lot of division because of vested interest. I want to remind you, the other time when they were voting the nominees to the East Africa Legislative Assembly, you realize that it almost divided Azimio. People like Jeremiah Kioni, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee, indicated that he was disappointed and it was like he wanted to run away. Kanini Kega took that opportunity to start really thanking and uniting around the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. There was speculation that Oparanya had indicated that he expected that Raila Odinga was going to support the only candidate from Ulembe Nation. I also saw another leader from Masai land, who was saying that he expected that Raila was going to support him. So this kind of divisive politics always come because of vested interest. So with the creation of this office, the Azimio brigade must be very careful to ensure that they have a cordial meeting and a cordial conclusion to whatever is happening. And ladies and gentlemen, Wavinya Ndeti, Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and Governor Malombe are carrying the voice of their leader, Kalonzo Musyoka. And I believe that Azimio leader Raila Odinga is going to listen to the silent, is it the silent majority or the silent minority, so that they can sit down and ensure that he does not lose Kalonzo Musyoka, really take them back to the drawing board. Because if he has to support Martha Karua without Kalonzo Musyoka, they will be looking for a running mate or someone to pair up with Martha Karua. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. Please share with me in the comment section what you think about this move, and let us wait and see what happens. Thank you. That is my take.